Alzheimer's is the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. Right now, there are an estimated 110,000 people in Washington living with the disease and another 348,000 people who are caring for someone impacted by Alzheimer's. Michaela Louie serves on the board of the Alzheimer's Association locally, and she also recently moved back to Seattle over the last few years after her mother was diagnosed with younger onset Alzheimer's. So Michaela, we appreciate you being here. You said you moved back in 2012 to be closer to your mom. How is she doing, and what is her story?
At this point, nearly 8 years after her official diagnosis, she is in late stage or severe Alzheimer's disease. Fortunately, she's still at home, but she requires significant assistance in every activity of daily living, from eating to dressing to hygiene. And everyone progresses with the disease differently, but my mom's progression was really gradual. So while she was losing her ability to drive a car, to use a fork, she retained her personality. She still danced and sang to the Beatles and laughed at the Ellen show. But last year, she became very agitated and aggressive even, and that's the ugly side of Alzheimer's that we don't hear enough about. And at that point, we knew the disease had taken over.
What have been the challenges for you moving back and for your family as caregivers of someone who is in this fight?
Obviously, witnessing my mom deteriorate. But initially, our biggest challenge was just how young she was. She was 57 at diagnosis. I was 22 at the time, right out of college. And it was hard to understand how and why this could be happening to someone so young. I think most of us know Alzheimer's as something that only affects much older adults. So there was an added stigma around it, and we didn't speak openly for probably a year. The Alzheimer's Association gave us an outlet and a platform for us to speak out and share our story. My mom's a fighter, and we would go to Olympia to advocate for better support services.
Oh, so important that you're doing that because it helps other people become more aware. You're also part of a group called Generation End Alz. Tell us about the group and the mission.
It's a small group, or it started as a small group of 20 and 30-somethings who were all impacted by the disease. And we realized we're living in this vibrant, growing city filled with young professionals. How do we capitalize on that, build a movement to fight Alzheimer's disease? So our mission is simple. We want to raise awareness, raise critical funds for research, and ultimately be the generation to end Alzheimer's.
And there are lots of misconceptions about this disease, about dementia. So in that raising awareness element, what do you want people to know most about what your mom's going through, what your family is going through?
I really want to debunk two misconceptions. First is that Alzheimer's is a normal part of aging. That's just not the case. Alzheimer's is a brain disease that is fatal. And with Alzheimer's, the brain degenerates, it shrinks, and the body deteriorates. So that leads to the second misconception, which is Alzheimer's is just memory loss. It's just forgetting people's names or forgetting dates. It's so much more than that, as I mentioned. It robs people of their abilities, of their talents, of their personalities, and ultimately their life.
Well, thank you, Michaela, for helping to elevate that message. Our best to you and to your family, and especially to your mom. It's very brave of you to share the story, but you're doing it for all the right reasons. So thank you for being here. And if you would like to learn more about Alzheimer's, some upcoming events that you can get involved with and be at Michaela's side to help raise awareness, go to q13fox.com/healthyliving.